Welcome back, Wi-Fi wizards. Got a pretty long episode today. Hope you stick with me to the end. Just thought I'd get me a little snow spray art in. Pretty proud of that. Anyway, let's crack on.
I physically held a key that opened every single door in the facility. I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get into their vocabulary fast. The Ice Cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope, and now because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapon system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand in 2011 on the front end of the year, because I was present and I have gone over this with the pertinent people, but I will not be releasing their names.
So from what I understand, it's like a engineering marvel, but it's like a device that can detect neutrinos and astrophysical and bloody blah from space. Nope, I believe him. I believe it's an energy weapon, or it'll have some sort of effect, some sort of weaponized effect on it, because they're not going to spend billions of dollars on some tests, you know what I mean, out in Antarctica, where it's just barren and no one can go, there's nothing there. I know, there's nothing there, don't look, you know what I mean? They're dodgy, they're always up to something, and they're going to weaponize everything, aren't they? I hate to pick on Americans, but it's always the American government. Well, most of the time it's the American government, probably because they got the most money, but well, anyway, we shall see in the near future, hopefully, or not. Let's move on.
Those sick, twisted megalomaniacs are cloning themselves. There's going to be probably little Jeffrey Epsteins running around in 20 or 30 years.
Juliet Bryant.
Juliet Bryant was a victim of Epstein. Epstein flew her to New York, and she kind of settled in, and then they told her she was going out to the island. But she was in Epstein's New Mexico ranch. She kind of passed out or went to sleep, and then she came to, she says, in a laboratory. And that there was a doctor that was harvesting, like in a hazmat suit almost, harvesting her ovums. But it's estimated that you can clone a human being for $1.5 million. So, and I knew when Dolly got cloned, the sheep, there's got to be megalomaniac billionaires out there that are cloning themselves. There's just got to be. That Epstein crew, I would not surprise if Juliet Bryant's ovums were getting harvested because those sick, twisted megalomaniacs are cloning themselves.
Right. Imagine seeing about 100 of them horrors running around. Ugh. That big head, that chin. Essentially, they did the sheep about 2 millennia ago, Dolly, then they're going to obviously be into the humans already, aren't they? They're always developing. And if that was that such a long time ago, and when you've got that much money, you don't know what to spend it on. You start spending it on stuff like, let's clone ourselves. You know what I mean? Zuckerberg looks like he's been cloned already. He looks like some sort of Family Guy, or I don't know, American Dad. He looks weird. He looks like a Guess Who character. He has like, and pinned back ears. Didn't he used to, or am I just picturing Jesse Eisenberg from the film? Didn't he look different? Didn't he have curly hair and like, I mean, it looks like his hair's coloured on. I don't know, like he's craned onto his head and he's just like pinned back ears. And he's into martial arts, MMA and all that. Not the Zuckerberg I know. Ugh, creeps. Moving on.
You can now see that the nanotech is totally destroyed by the nicotine mixture. Dr. Brian Ardis stated that nicotine was the very thing that could destroy nanotechnology. Rafa has confirmed exactly that. Please share this video everywhere. We are now looking at how we can deliver nicotine in the correct dosage in a liposomal form, just like the liposomal and microsomal that we use on the EDTA, which obviously gets rid of the spike protein shedding and helps in vax injury. This is life-changing. So to confirm again, what you're seeing here is nicotine steeped in distilled water being placed on dental anesthetics, and you can literally see the nanotechnology dissolve, be destroyed and dispersed. Obviously putting this on any platform puts us in danger, as we know, but somebody has to show the solutions to these pollutions. And we are a team of microscopists that don't want to make money out of anybody. We want to give you free solutions. We're not affiliated to tobacco industry or nicotine, but obviously you need nicotine in its purest form. Tobacco and the tobacco industry obviously put harmful substances in that. So you need tobacco at its purest form and nicotine at its purest form. So watch this space on liposomal, on microsomal nicotine.
We all know how bad tobacco's already been perceived and pushed out, marketed over the years. Obviously it's bad with all the other stuff that's put in, the chemicals and the tar and all the stuff, of course, obviously. But I think I've seen that in a documentary a long time ago. I heard this somewhere. Don't quote me on it, but isn't it good for cuts and bruises, antiseptic, stop bleeding and cuts and stuff like that in its pure form? Like, pure form. You know what I mean? So, she could be on something. And if she is, why is it not pushed out more? Like, the money marketing machine. Obviously they want customers, not patients, don't they? There's so much healing things. All you need to do is hop onto Instagram, scroll for about 30 seconds and you see about 6 remedies for natural remedies. I feel like because it's such, the pills and everything is a norm, these are seen as quacks and quirky if you like, natural remedies, you know what I mean? So the people trust the white lab coat theory, innit? You know, like that effect, the white lab coat effect, where if someone's in a white lab coat you believe them, you're more prone to believe them. I think we should all start going natural. Stop taking the pills, see what happens. Watch a Michael Moore documentary, sicko. Anyway, let's move on.
The only way to make a one world government work is to have the people embrace it. They have to want it, because nobody wants it. So the trick is to make people want it, to embrace it. There's only one way.
I gotta pee.
There's only one way.
Joe, this is very important.
miss out on
I know this.
Okay, I don't know.
The only way, and they've known this forever. The Vatican knew this. The Vatican, the Pope wanted to rule the world. They all knew it, but they couldn't do it. They all knew it, but they knew one way, but there's no way how they're gonna pull it off.
Man?
The only way is if there was some extraterrestrial threat from up above us. That would be the only way to have everyone embrace the one world government. They all knew that for years.
It didn't work
That's
so far.
the plan. They could never
It's a
make it
shitty
work.
plan.
They didn't have the technology 500 years ago. The Vatican knew about it. They wanted it. And you go to the Vatican, you see paintings of like
Have you been there?
UFOs with aliens in them. And back when I used to believe in UFOs, but before I figured out that UFOs they want us to believe in UFOs. They're preparing us for a fake alien invasion. That's always been the plan. A one world government. The only way to do it is to get us to embrace it. And the only way to embrace it is from an alien attack. Ronald Reagan talked about it many times at the
I love Eddie Bravo, me. I think he's buzzing. What if you're one calling him the deaf Jack Russell? You can't get him back. And that's what he comes across. He comes like, if he's like me, he stutters and mutters, but he can actually talk sometimes. I just trip over my words. He's not like that Alex Jones where he's just like shouting and raving and ranting, so no one actually pays attention to what I'm saying. The way Joe Rogan treats him sometimes, we all love Joe, but the way he treats him, so it's like he talks down and he's like, oh yeah, go on, so stupid, that kind of thing is infuriating. In regards to the Vatican, they've obviously got things. They could have at least said, we haven't got that much. No, we haven't got nothing. No, nothing to see here. Them and the Smithsonian, they're all in cahoots with each other. They've got the Ark of the Covenant, Holy Grail, everything, whatever else, suppress history. I won't trust them as far as I can throw them. And they've got their own postcode, and in their own little city. Like the Vatican, Rome, in Rome, and it got his own little postcode, his own police and everything, just around that. Come on. It's not a church. And it's in a new design in the church. That big, sinister looking thing in the shape of a snake and the big stage behind him. If you haven't, check it out, Google it. Creepy, man. Something behind it. They're not like workers for Christ and nothing good. Look at the designs, what they're in. Look at the Vatican now, or the place where he speaks from. Sorry, not the Vatican. Look at it. The snake and that backdrop he's got. Ooh. Anyway, get away from me. Move on.
ChatGPT, do they have artificial intelligence that can run entire social media accounts?
Sure. AI can now fully manage social media accounts. It can create posts, respond to comments, send direct messages, and engage with followers. Tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and automation bots handle these tasks. This technology is widely used in marketing, customer service, and personal branding.
Hey ChatGPT, does the government use these accounts to interfere in social, political, and science topics?
Yes. Governments and organizations have been known to use AI-driven accounts to influence political, social, or scientific discussions. These bot accounts, or AI-managed profiles, can amplify specific narratives, suppress dissent, or shape public opinion. It's part of modern information warfare and propaganda strategies. It's part of modern information warfare and propaganda strategies. Modern information warfare and propaganda strategies. Propaganda strategies.
You can't blame them for using it for marketing and ads and stuff like that. It's just so much easier. Tell a machine what you want in it, it does it for you in a few seconds, of course. You know what I mean? You can't blame them for that. It's just, you can't just be nice and normal. They always have to give the public, look at this, distraction, look at this, AI generated, look at this big shiny bright thing over here. And then they have to use it for nefarious acts and weird stuff. It's just annoying because it doesn't stop at ads and stuff like that for them. And you don't know what's true. If they put out there, you can literally, I watched an episode yesterday, a long one of Joe Rogan speaking. It wasn't even Joe Rogan. I was like, you wouldn't tell the difference. And then, you know what I mean? They're planting memories, and you could just put anyone in jail. And they're the ones who make the rules, and they're the ones who enforce the rules. But if I take me ball, I'm going home kind of thing. You can't win. It's a lose-lose. So unless you play ball and act accordingly and do as you're told, then they can just say, right, that was you, you did that, there's your voice on tape, or whatever. Wrong. There needs to be someone policing the police kind of thing, like the government. It can't be. Not even the president gets access to it all. In America, like, what else do you need to know if they're hiding something from the president? Anyway.
So giving off that vibe, and unless someone goes into that house and changes the frequency, they sit there vibrating. So you go into it and you think, oh, this is horrible, God, because you're picking the vibe up, right? So these are the energies I'm talking about. So these entities, by their very nature, are very low vibrational in nature, because anyone that wants to impose their will and manipulate and cause suffering and war and death and destruction is in a very low vibration.
Now David Icke he's like Bob Lazar, isn't he? He's been going for forever and he's been saying it and he's crazy and oh yeah, he talks all this and that. Listen to David Icke, pay attention to what he says. The vibration thing, even I would have thought that was what? Frequency vibration, yeah, go away from me. You know what I mean? Years ago. But everything's vibration, everything's frequency. There's so much like material out there that you can do, like where they put like sand or whatever on a speaker and they play the frequency and it makes these geometrical, these patterns. It's like a kaleidoscope, you know what I mean? It's a piece of art. Every emotion has frequencies. You have snowflakes. If you play music or if you're angry or you say something angry towards a snowflake, if it's in the crystallizing different, that's mind blowing. That is unbelievable. So frequency is to everything. So he's bang on. Listen to David Icke, please.
this non-human realm was feeding off low vibrational energy. There's a scene in the first Matrix movie where Morpheus holds up a battery and says, the Matrix is a computer-generated dream world designed to turn humans into one of these, a battery. That is a profound statement in an apparently fictional movie.
Well, we saw the kids version in Monsters Inc. as well.
That was another one. You had the monster world, where the key monster was a green entity with one single massive eye. I mean, that's telling you, isn't it? What happened is that in the monster world, they had no source of energy. And so in the power station, every day, the monster's employees would turn up and they stand in line. And then these doors would come, and when they walked through the door, they walked into a child's bedroom. And their job was to terrify the child, so the child screamed. They caught the scream in a tube and went back to the monster world to power the monster world. It was very symbolic of how this works. They are telling you without telling you, if you know what I mean.
So if frequency is through everything, then they're gonna want, and they put all these these hertz out and these things, the way music plays, they have it at a certain level for it, and the anxiety is everything it causes. Obviously that's why your frequency is for distressing and releasing stress and all that kind of stuff. So they're gonna want you stressed and angry and everything. They're gonna feed off that. If there's someone feeding off that, then they're obviously gonna want to keep getting that out there. They're gonna benefit from it. So as much as people might want to dismiss it as just a conspiracy theory, or as poo-poo, woo-woo, whatever you want to call it, I think it's got some truth to it, and I think a lot more people do. Well, we know a lot more people do. Don't just dismiss it because it sounds far-fetched. That's from this channel. We need to just spread awareness, put it out, give our little take, whether it makes sense or not, whether you agree or not. It's just an opinion, and then tell someone, have a talk with someone about it, and then obviously come back to my video and subscribe. But have a conversation about it, and then just say let's have an open mind. Let's just not get angry. Work it up. If we come away from this and we agree to disagree, if you haven't come away with an answer in 2 to 3 minutes, let's not fall out. Move on. It's just a difference of opinion, but you have to have an open mind. You have to see both sides. You can't just be narrow-minded and biased. That's why that's why we're not going to get anywhere as a humanity. Dividing. Everyone just gets divided, and then they conquer. Anyway, let's move on.
God, look at these big ass mosquitoes here! Girl, what the fuck? Big ass mosquitoes!
I don't got no business to bring here, babe. It was definitely you.
It's definitely not me. You're bringing bitches in here. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. This thing just fell out of the sky from nowhere, and now I am convinced that there is such thing as fairies. Like, I'm just on a walk, and I'm on the road, and it just fell in the middle of the road with no trees.
I've seen some very convincing things about fairies. Maybe not this one, but there is. I've seen or fair traps in Ireland or Scottish law and Irish law. Sorry, fair traps. If you've seen them where they have the little grass going on, you have fairies and stuff like that. My partner said when she was young, she was convinced she's seen chubby fairies flying in her nana's room. I believe her straight off the bat. Straight off the bat, I believe her, because I've seen the Hatman twice, seen it laugh, and I've seen a shadow or an alien or whatever it was in front of me, and I approached it at 3 in the morning. Didn't laugh at me. Although, trying to get this in there, we went somewhere in a yurt, no light pollution, 2 years ago for a birthday, and looked up in the sky. Deep in space, you could see things zipping around, stopping on a dime, flipping all different angles. I said, "You know what that is, don't you?" She went, "Yeah, fireflies." Go away. Anyway, yeah, I believe in fairies. I feel like we know nothing. There's things out there we can't even see because of dicyanide glasses or whatever we need. You know what I mean? Different things. There's so much out there. They actually look cool. And is it dicyanide they called? They look cool. I'll have to get some of them. Anyway, I've gone down the garden path and I rant. Fairies are real. Trust me, bro. Fair warning you. This one's like 6.5 minutes, 6 minutes long. So stick with it. So interesting, and it's my boy Phil. So you're gonna be interested. You're gonna be hooked because the way he tells stories is unbelievable. You've seen him before on my channel and probably somewhere else. But anyway, stick with it. Let's get to the end because I've got one more decent clip, quick one at the end, and it's done. So stick with it, please. So interesting. Get into it.
The raw, unfiltered scientific proof for what the pyramids were really built for. This is what a real Egyptian tomb looks like, and this is the biggest tomb in the world, the Great Pyramid of Giza. The closer you look, the more you realize this pyramid was definitely not made for burying the dead, because the materials they used to build it are exactly what we'd use today to create an electric current. Giza used to be covered with bright white casing stones that were virtually airtight, made out of polished limestone brought from Tura, a quarry 500 miles away. Oh, they just wanted the pyramids to look all nice and white and cute, right? So much that they were willing to drag stones the length of Florida away to do so, for the aesthetic. This special limestone from Tura happens to have less magnesium in it than regular limestone, making it an ideal insulator of electricity, as well as perfect for reflecting sunlight to keep the inside cool. The interior chambers of the pyramid were built with rose granite containing 85% quartz, which is piezoelectric, meaning it produces a small electric charge when moved or squeezed, the same quartz that's used to power a watch battery or a barbecue lighter. Granite also ionizes the air inside the chambers, which further increases the conductivity of electricity. On top of being sourced from Aswan, another quarry hundreds of miles away, the granite slabs inside Giza have these weird structural designs to them that don't exactly look good and are just incredibly difficult to make. Why on earth would you build a roof like this that just makes the job 10 times harder using 80-ton stone blocks from hundreds of miles away that you can't even see from inside the chamber when it's done? Historians will tell you they were relieving chambers, meant to keep the room from collapsing from the great weight of the pyramid overhead, even though the chambers below had no such relief. On the other hand, if you were somehow able to apply pressure to these chambers, you'd get an electric charge from the quartz. A lot of it. But electricity can't just exist if we want to utilize it for energy. It needs to get directed through something in order for us to make use of it, an electric current. Copper is often used in wires to do just that. And take a wild guess what a remote camera revealed in the pyramid's narrow shafts just a few years back. 2 copper handles embedded into the stone at the end of the shaft, the only metal to have ever been confirmed in Giza, as well as a set of what appear to be instructions that looks like a wiring diagram painted on the side of the shaft, to which modern Egyptologists claim these handles were used with ropes to pull jars up the shaft. They're just getting desperate at this point. These shafts really have no confirmed purpose. They're commonly referred to as air vents, but some of them don't even lead to the outside. In 2013, former Egyptian Antiquities Minister Zahi Hawass was accused of theft of Egyptian artifacts from the pyramid. In the list of items rumored to have been stolen, there was one that stood out from the rest. Long copper wires. A strange artifact by any means, and just what you'd need to complete an electric current. So were the pyramids built as giant batteries? I mean, we have all the pieces in place, but how exactly would this battery even work? Aerospace engineer Chris Dunn popularized the Giza power plant theory by kind of proving it with actual science, hard numbers, and a scale model. From the top, this is what the inside of Giza looks like. A top or king's chamber with a lower queen's chamber underneath it. A large slanted shaft, the grand gallery, connecting both chambers, and a bottom subterranean chamber with a bunch of long narrow shafts leading into each. According to Dunn, the pyramid is what's called a coupled oscillator, a device that's connected to a larger vibrating body in such a way that energy can be transferred between them, converting vibrational energy, the natural resonance of the earth, into microwave energy. Now the earth, it vibrates, producing frequencies in the form of natural underground seismic activity, the Schumann resonances in Earth's electromagnetic fields, as well as the movement of water in key locations just below Earth's surface, which also creates vibrational frequencies. The entire process starts in the subterranean chamber, which was built directly above underground aquifers with powerful flowing water right under the pyramids. A convenient location for the perfect coincidence theory. It's said that the flowing water and possibly even seismic activity of the Earth would create vibrational waves that resonate throughout the pyramid. Vibrational waves that would be maximized at the center of mass of any object, and Giza just so happens to sit at the center of landmass mass of the world. Coincidence. Now the real kicker was when traces of zinc and hydrochloric acid were found in the shafts leading into the Queen's Chamber. Dunn suggests that some ancient form of these two chemicals were poured down the shafts and mixed together in the chamber, which would trigger a chemical reaction, one that releases hydrogen gas, a proven process using the exact trace chemicals that were found in the shafts. The gas would travel from the Queen's Chamber through the Grand Gallery and up into the King's Chamber, while the pressure of the gas compresses the granite quartz and creates piezoelectricity, another proven process. Vibrations from below would trigger resonators in the Grand Gallery, which it was believed that 27 acoustic devices were placed in the empty slots that can be found here. The compressed quartz would create the spark for the vibrations to energize the hydrogen atoms into a microwave energy beam, which would reach the King's Chamber through this 4.8 times 8.4 inch watertight shaft cut into the granite. Conveniently, the perfect size for the hydrogen microwave wavelength at 21 centimeters, and the exact dimensions of what we call a waveguide today, a structure that guides the transmission of energy waves in one direction. And let me remind you, granite is harder than steel. Cutting a shaft like this is damn near impossible with known ancient technology, and definitely not something they do for fun. These microwaves would further resonate in the King's Chamber, which was tuned to a very specific frequency using those layers of stones in the roof. Remember those incredibly difficult stones above the chamber? That's how they tuned the pyramid's frequency. The sarcophagus in this room is expected to have been some source of high voltage, like the Baghdad battery. Further ionize the hydrogen and make that room superconductive. Gold-capped pips, as we believe the pyramids to have had, would also make the perfect conductor to attract the electricity and send it up into the atmosphere. Sounds like it's time for me to take my meds. A super pseudoscientific theory and highly theoretical at that, until you realize in 2018, studies proved that the pyramids can focus electromagnetic energy in their internal chambers and also directly beneath them. That's real, quantifiable, scientific evidence that supports this theory. Many archaeologists also report electromagnetic readings inside of the pyramids and directly above them. So the pyramid's exterior was made with an insulator, the interior with conductors, and the chambers with material that produces electricity. Are these all just coincidences? And even if we did have electricity generated in the pyramids, how would this energy even be distributed for everyone to use? Our boy Tesla may have known the answer and was silenced from revealing it to the world. Let's see if it's up.
I'm breathed. It's good enough. 6 minutes is not a long time for the information he just gave you. You're welcome. Do you know what I mean? Just save your college tuition there. 4 years of college. Nah. He's very interesting. Unbelievable points. I tend to believe him. I tend to take his word for gospel. Most of the time, not all the time, most of the time. Well, I've not come across anything just yet, but there's always time. Plus, I think the way they put these blocks in, because you see it in labs, is with vibration and you get the heavy objects to lift. That's proven, that's done. That would have been sci-fi years ago as well. That's done. That's the way it was done, I think. I think it was an energy device. The way they moved the blocks was the vibration and all that stuff. What they use it for is the energy device. It's a power plant. It's a basic power plant. Makes too much sense. And I don't think the way the data is wrong. And even these historians, whatever they want, they just forget them. Don't listen to them. No one knows anything. It's all guesswork. Educated guesses at that, but it's guesswork. Just like gravity. Anyway, I've got this little clip for you now. Last one of the day. Very, very small. So interesting. It's interesting because there's supposed to be a type of people around the feral people, around the Appalachian Trail. So it could be them, could be Bigfoot, could be anything. Just have a look. And we've made it to the end. If you're still here and you haven't tuned out, then please consider heading to a playlist, checking one of these videos out, giving it a sub, like, tell someone. I want to grow the channel. I really enjoy it. I love these clips. So if you're still here, please consider watching another one, because the algorithm pushes it out if you watch 2 back to back. It'd be, honestly, I'd love you. I'd love you forever. Anyway, thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.